Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Words. I'm Carla, your ever-enthusiastic host, and today we've got a very special episode for you. Brace yourselves because we're diving into the epic world of Game of Thrones. Yes, that's right, the dragons, the battles, the betrayals, and the unforgettable characters. And joining me, as always, is the one and only Jon Snow. Jon, are you ready for this?
I am more than ready, Carla. Game of Thrones is not just a TV show. It's an experience, a cultural phenomenon, and I can't wait to unpack all of its magic with you. Let's dive into Westeros together.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about everything. The characters, the incredible cast, the stunning visuals, and even some fun behind-the-scenes trivia. If you're a fan of the series or even just curious about why everyone talks about it so much, this episode is for you. Let's start with the big question. What made Game of Thrones so special? For me, it's the way the show wasn't afraid to take risks. Heroes fell, villains thrived, and every episode left you on the edge of your seat. What about you, Jon?
For me, it's the storytelling, Carla. George R.R. Martin created a world where nothing was black and white. It's all shades of grey. Every character had their own motivations, and you could understand why they did what they did, even if you didn't agree with it. That's rare in storytelling.
Exactly. And the world building was next level. From the icy landscapes beyond the wall to the sunny shores of Dorne, the settings were as much characters as the people themselves. Speaking of characters, Jon, let's talk about some of our favorites. Let's start with the Starks, the family at the heart of the story. They were the moral compass of the series, or at least tried to be. Who's your favorite Stark, Jon?
It has to be Arya Stark. Her journey from a spirited young girl to a fierce assassin was incredible. I loved how she never let go of her Stark identity, even when she was training to become no one. What about you, Carla?
For me, it's Sansa. She went from being naive and sheltered to becoming one of the most strategic and strong leaders in Westeros. Her evolution was amazing to watch. And of course, there's Ned Stark, who started it all. His honor was both his strength and his downfall.
Yes, Ned taught us that being honourable in a world full of schemers can be a dangerous thing. But let's not forget Bran, who had one of the most mysterious and controversial arcs. Becoming the three-eyed raven was fascinating, but his journey left fans divided.
And then we have Jon Snow, you. Your character, Jon, was the reluctant hero, always doing the right thing even when it came at a personal cost. What did you think about Jon's ending?
It was bittersweet, Carla. Being exiled to the Night's Watch felt unfair, but it also felt right in a way. Jon always belonged in the North. But enough about the Starks. Let's talk about the Lannisters.
The Lannisters were such a complex family. Tyrion, Cersei, Jaime, each of them brought something unique to the story. Who's your standout, Jon?
Tyrion, without a doubt. He was the smartest person in the room, no matter where he was. Peter Dinklage's performance was phenomenal. I loved how Tyrion used his intellect to survive in a world that underestimated him.
And then there's Cersei, who was the ultimate power player. She was cunning, ruthless, and completely unapologetic. But you have to admit, her love for her children made her somewhat relatable.
True. And Jaime Lannister, his redemption arc was one of the most compelling in the series. From pushing Bran out of a window to risking his life for the greater good, Jaime showed us that people can change.
Let's shift gears to the Targaryens. Daenerys Targaryen's journey was one of the most talked about arcs in the series. What did you think about her evolution, Jon?
Daenerys was a symbol of hope and liberation at first. Watching her rise from being sold into marriage to becoming the mother of dragons was inspiring. But her turn in the final season was shocking. It reminded us that power can corrupt even the best intentions.
And the dragons. Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion were more than just weapons. They were her children. The scenes with the dragons were some of the most breathtaking in the entire series. Let's not forget her ancestors. The Mad King's legacy loomed over everything she did.
Speaking of legacies, we have to talk about the villains. Ramsay Bolton, Joffrey Baratheon, and even Littlefinger. Each of them brought a different kind of evil to the table.
Ramsay was sadistic, Joffrey was entitled, and Littlefinger was the ultimate manipulator. But what's fascinating is that each of them had a role in shaping the story. Without them, the heroes wouldn't have had the challenges that made them grow. The scale of this show was incredible. Did you know that some episodes had a budget of $15 million? The Battle of the Bastards, for example, took 25 days to film.
That's amazing. And the attention to detail was unparalleled. Every costume, prop, and set piece was meticulously crafted to make the world feel real. Even the languages, like Dothraki and Valyrian, were fully developed.
The show's impact on pop culture is undeniable. From memes to merchandise to endless fan theories, Game of Thrones became more than just a TV show. It became a global phenomenon. Here's a fun fact, Jon. The Iron Throne is made from hundreds of swords, including one that's rumored to belong to Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings. How cool is that?
Very cool. Did you know that Arya's needle sword was inspired by fencing techniques? And the direwolves were actually played by real wolves in the earlier seasons.
Game of Thrones is a series that will be remembered for generations. Its characters, themes, and stories have left an indelible mark on pop culture.
Absolutely, Carla. Whether you loved it or had mixed feelings about the ending, there's no denying the impact it's had.
Thank you for joining us on this epic journey through Westeros. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments or on Instagram. And for movie fans, visit Moviezilla.in for amazing recommendations.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and remember, when you play the game of podcasts, you win or you learn.